regular meeting of the Village of Armada will now come to order. Will everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you kindly. Clerk Hawley, roll please.
Clark?
Here.
Conan?
Here.
Bullock?
Here.
Ballard?
Yep.
Sleds?
Here.
Delkey?
Here.
Okay, everybody here. Pardon me. The approval of the agenda, what's council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I would like to have an executive session as B1 of the new business, and that would be on hiring a new police chief.
Well, it's negotiating the agreement.
Negotiating the agreement, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
negotiating the agreement.
Is that amending the agenda really? Because we have executive on here.
No, it is.
Yeah, that is,
Just,
okay.
yeah, as long as no one objects.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
I asked him if we could do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll support that.
Mm.
Vote is supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
No.
Pardon me?
I vote no.
You're voting no? Okay.
It's mine to know also.
Okay. Okay, citizens comment.
Okay, the citizen comments. It's open to the floor. Anyone in the audience would like to address the council at this moment? You have 3 minutes to do so, and state your name for the record.
I'm the only one.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Jason Scott. I live at 73512 Fulton.
I'm sorry, your last name?
Scott.
Scott?
First name Jason.
Okay,
Yes. Pardon me.
that's fine. Good.
Last time I was here, I addressed Mr. Sledge. I appreciate it. We put a little something here to let some of the water drain on the corner, but the fact that there's grass here that belongs to the town makes this entire corner flood. Anything you see in red causes flooding on Lathrop. This is my home. This is Church Street. This is my driveway. Flooding ranges anywhere from, depending on the weather, 6 inches to a foot of water. Collects here, 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 my entire driveway, on the corner here of Church, of this property, and all along Lathrop on the south side. And then at this point, the road runs downhill, and this is constantly underwater, no matter what time of year or day, 365. I'm just asking for consideration to place this portion of Lathrop as soon as possible, considering that the flooding is causing damage to not only my property, but as cars continuously leave the subdivision to the east, using this as a major way to get to Fulton in the morning. I would imagine anywhere from 50 to 75 cars come down this road between 6 a.m. when I'm leaving for school till about 9 a.m. And they run at a high rate of speed. Placing puddled water well into this property, my neighbor, and to mine, and further pushing as much water down into my driveway. So it's causing property damage on my private property at this point. Thank you very much.
Sir, I saw some stones around that drainage.
Yeah, I put some stones there to keep the leaves from covering the drain.
Okay, I was wondering whether you did it or,
I did it.
The stones were,
yeah, or
Yeah.
DPW, so.
No, I put the stones there because if not, the leaves will cover the drain and we'll have further flooding.
Was
So
it
now
DP
all the dirt and leaves stop at the stones, and once a month I go out there and I clean it up.
Was the DPW down there?
Yes, the last time I was here, within 3 days they were here and they cleared a little area there to try to alleviate some of the flooding. But at the corner, there's about a 4 by 3 foot piece of grass, if you will, or sod, that stops all the water from draining properly down the street. But I'm sure,
Not supposed to go to the street, but
Yeah.
Lathrop but we were gonna actually replace Lathrop this past year. But with the tornado and other things.
Yeah, I
we
understand.
It is back, we actually have it back in the budget for this year.
okay,
And it's the entire run, and it, yeah, the drain is actually all goes that way.
it's supposed to go to
No,
the east
that-
or west?
It actually goes to the east, and, yep, it's all gonna go, and then as they redo the whole thing, we're gonna do, but we're actually gonna put new sewer in for that.
Okay,
So-
all right. There's a drain here,
Yep, there's a drain there.
there's a drain here, there's a drain here. And then there's no drain here. There's a house here on this corner that the owner, she's in a nursing home, I believe. Her entire yard is underwater at this time,
Yeah, she gets the most.
yes.
But to correct you, Chris,
But
it's
it's not.
not in this year's budget. We have to get the water and sewer lines, the whole infrastructure mapped out first, and that won't be done to get it into this budget.
I had put it as the request to put it in this year.
You
You
did.
took it back out?
I had to take it.
Oh,
back
I'm
out.
sorry, I did not know that. Because they're, okay, so that's a different discussion then.
Yeah. we-
So,
Here's the thing that I
It
would tell
doesn't
you
need
is,
water and sewer, it's sewer's there, yes, but.
the three of us, kind of the infrastructure guys, are meaningfully working to come up with a infrastructure upgrade plan, which looks at, the streets, storm sewers, curb gutter, sidewalks, sewers, water, all my water infrastructure. And we're meaningfully working on that now. I think our best shot, although Chris may have an opportunity to do some, what do we call that?
Mitigating
Wet
work?
grind, what is it?
Oh, no, that wasn't gonna be crushing grind, that's part of it, no, these are replacements at that point.
We think our best opportunity is in 2024, when one of the bonds that we're currently paying off is paid. We're gonna be in a better borrowing position, and plus we'll have all of our infrastructure issues identified, so that we'll be able to then meaningfully go in and try to fix some stuff. I don't know where that's gonna be prioritized, but that's one of the things we are doing as part of this.
That's okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware, I figured there was a couple low-hanging fruit pieces that we could take, because it was,
That's what
when
I
we did our
thought
own
we were doing,
estimate,
but-
it was the worst on the street and the highest on the water and
Yeah.
sewer.
We got on that discussion.
Well, Chris, what I was gonna say to
That's okay.
you, you're our street administrator. I would have you take a look at it as your department. And the thing is that, I think you can handle it quite wisely with Mr. Scott. So, and the thing is, you can suggest something, which I know you're very capable. So, I don't think you need any help from anybody else. If you need help from me or any other council member, please ask.
Sure.
But I think you could do it. And get the DPW out there to grade or whatever, because now it is softening up.
Yeah, we're into that time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Anyone else at this time like to address the council? No, okay, good. There's no presentations tonight. Administrative reports, Commissioner liaison reports, code enforcement report in your packet, and the treasurer's report you also have. Anything on the commissioner's report?
we don't have the
No, you
treasurer's
don't.
report, but the look on Joe's face. We don't have
I got busy with budget and I didn't
Yeah.
print it.
I was
I'm sorry.
thinking this was part of it, I'm sorry.
No,
Mr. President, I do have the incident report from the Armada Police Department from Police Chief Michael Patrick. This is for the police action report for February of 2022. We had traffic-related and traffic stops, we had 56. We had 0 assaults, we had 9 assists to EMS, 9 agency assists, other agency assists. Suspicious situation was 2, civil dispute was 1, dog and animal complaints there were 3, disturbances were 0, alarm and open door was 2, domestic disturbance was 1, lockout was 0, Death investigation was 1, runaway juvenile was 0, damaged property was 0, mental distress situation was 2, mischief was 0, miscellaneous calls for service was 8, missing persons located 1, officer initiated activities was 4, lost and found property was 1, thefts were 0, fraud was 0. As of March 4th, 2022, miles on patrol cars were 431 was 71,236, and on the truck was 78,200, and the truck is out of service for changeover on 3/4/22.
Good, thank you, Mr. Ballard.
Before you start, let me,
Thank you, David.
What are you afraid of?
okay, before Ross jumps in, I'm gonna jump in quick, because mine's quick.
Very good.
Included in here was the planning commission meeting minutes of February 7th also. I'm sorry, I didn't list it on the agenda. I also wanted,
It can take my spot.
yeah, yeah, that's in place of the treasurer's report. Also, we have a little, issue with, damage to our siding, in this building. So we've been through the insurance company. We're going to get it all replaced. Just so you know, we're gonna owe out of pocket, our deductible's $250, but they do a recoverable depreciation on your siding, which if you were hit by the tornado, we all know what that means. So we're gonna owe out of pocket probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,800. But we're getting all new siding on this building and some roof work too in there. Insurance company is taking care of it, so we don't need to bid it out. They're just gonna pay the contractor directly. And, but I just wanted to let you guys know, they are gonna stop by tomorrow. I was gonna talk to you, Mark, to bring in samples for us to look at for siding. If anybody cares about a particular color or has a suggestion for anything, let me know before tomorrow at 11. Because that's the time it's coming, or bring yourselves up here and you can meet with them.
Does anyone want to meet with the clerk?
Yeah. I just let you know that's where we're at, because I don't want to pick something out and then have everybody not, I'll try to maybe keep it the same color, but I won't go crazy. But I'm just letting you guys know that's what we're doing. Okay.
I think
Okay, Mr. President, I've got my pages of notes. I'm not gonna belabor the first item because we talked about it a little bit. Just think that in some cases with the things that I do, potentially that Steve does or Chris does with the current purchasing ordinance, that it is artificially limiting to us when we have a case where we've got a, let's say, preferred vendor, somebody that we've routinely historically used to work on a project. The ordinance as it's written would suggest that we need to go out, get 3 bids and so on, depending upon the dollar amount indicated. I think the ordinance provides enough space in there to accommodate issues like that. One that we used last time was we approved a contract, Jeff, or took a quote from UIS SCADA, who originally did the telemetry at the water treatment plant, the well houses, the water tower. We had them out to take a look at the system, found that the system had a number of potential deficiencies and some of the equipment was no longer supported and was not in good shape. And so to have 3 vendors come out, take the time and effort to do that, to find that they're going to be far more expensive if we have to replace everything versus getting SCADA in the back, come back in here and UIS rather, come back in and limit what he's going to do to upgrade the system because the infrastructure is already there. Just makes sense to do. But I break out into cold sweats every time I think about bringing one of these items forward because the ordinance in some cases might be restrictive, and I don't know what council's going to say. And council's accommodated me on these things for the most part. Clearly on something like an arsenic detention facility that we have nobody with skin in the game, so that would clearly be bid out, and so on. But I just ask council to take a look at that, maybe an opportunity to make some adjustments to it in the future. In the meantime, I'm going to bring in what I consider to be the preferred vendor list, at least for water, so that if I start talking it again, you'll see that we always tend to use this one heating company. They know us. They come out here very quickly. We're not scheduled 3 months down the road. We get a break on parts, that type of thing. So it becomes the best value for us, and more often than not. So again, just an issue that I've been wrestling with a lot lately, and would ask the council to come and talk to me if you think we need to change anything in the ordinance potentially, or just keep moving the way we're moving. Again, council's been accommodating, so I appreciate that. The F&B is going to come up later.
But I would say we should then, might as well add Steve and I both, we should, we can't do it together. I mean, again, from a business sense, I know over 9 years in automotive and in commercial, we always have preferred that you, but again, what does it take to be this? And it doesn't also mean you sit on your laurels though either.
Right.
You do need to go out and check out, you need to check your market every now and again.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say people who get fattened up and happy with stuff per se.
When you get to that point, Ross, so one of the things that you can do is, in terms of a preferred vendor list, and this has some advantage. I'll give you an example, like heating and cooling. You can go, and you guys have the flexibility of quotes. You don't have to formally bid things out. So
Right.
you could say, give me your hourly rates,
Yep.
give me your markup on parts, and whichever one, and you still can pick, it doesn't have to always be the lowest one.
Right.
But then you bring that person and you pre-qualify them by council action, saying, for the next 2 years, we're gonna use this person, but they have to understand when they bid a job or come out for service, they have to charge us those fees.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
in this market, you're probably only gonna get a year, not too many people, you might only get 6 months, quite honestly. But to your point,
Yeah.
in this market, most municipalities are struggling mightily to get anyone to bid.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a wise move. I don't think you really need an ordinance change, it's just you're gonna have to, like I said, go out into the market and find that person or persons to give you,
Right.
what would it take, in terms of labor rates, markup on parts,
Yeah.
and then compare it. You can kind of control that based on what you're asking them to quote.
Right.
And then the other thing is, and this is important in this market, is can you respond within a half, we want to be a preferred, they're going to be preferred to us, but we want to be preferred too.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Well, and these are some of the characteristics that
right.
I'm seeing with some of the people that we've been using. So I mean, I know it may come as a shock to some of the council members. We have been using a lot of these guys already for a number of years. It's just that
Right.
I don't know that we've ever recognized it.
Right.
So you'll see a similar issue when I bring up the fire hydrant.
Sure.
Very few people willing to do it. If they're gonna do it, it's gonna be 10 months and 3 days down the road versus fairly quickly. I wouldn't wanna wait on fire hydrants too long. Prices continue to go up. And so there's reasons to pick somebody that we've worked with in the past, gives us a good value, is here when we want them, works with the team, and so on. So, but I like the pre-qualification.
I do too, I like that idea. And like I said, for example, was this summer, right? How many times I had to find to get quotes to get sidewalk?
Right.
Yeah, as soon as you got a
I
sidewalk
had to go to
guy,
left hand
a
and
tree
right
guy.
different people to get 2 quotes.
Right. Right, no, good point.
So yeah, absolutely. And then in today, you're right, with today's material issues, supply chain stuff.
Again,
prices.
it's so hard for them to bid because they don't know if they can even get the stuff that they need to do the work. So it's almost becoming piecemeal work,
Yes.
for them. It's like, I'm not gonna bid on it because I can't promise you I can do it, but, you're lucky if they'll even quote on it, so.
We've had a couple,
Yeah.
you got 2 days,
Right.
go or no go, and, so, pre-qualification, but I'll bring in that list, and I just wanna make sure that council is generally happy with it. Maybe it's just the sign of the times right now. Okay, next item, just an update on the telemetry and alarm system. So I had talked to Ken Warner at UIS SCADA, We're targeting mid-April. Maybe no surprise that he's having a hard time sourcing parts, just like everybody. But right now, mid-April is what we're planning to upgrade the telemetry system and the alarm system. And once that happens, then we can cancel contract. It's not a contract. It's a month-to-month with a current electronic supplier. What do I want to call it? I'll just say Comcast. Comcast. Can't think of what to call them. So we would cancel the Comcast component. That saves us some money. Yeah, thanks. Have been in touch with McIntyre's. We're going to start doing some preliminary work towards the end of March to prepare to do the media exchange. Again, all the media has been delivered. They've run into some issues too with where they take the expended media that they pull out of our two treatment vessels. They're working through that though, but just a heads up that we are going to start doing some work at the end of this month. Finally, just a note, I'm sorry, I've got two more items. The consumer confidence report for the water department's been approved by Eagle, so that's going to go out in the March water and sewer bills to all of our customers. It's a good report. It shows that our water is in great shape here. And then finally, I had a note in here about continuity planning. We've got a number of potential retirements over the next few years coming up, and I just encourage council to let's proactively tackle some of these things so that we don't wind up running down to the wire without a plan A, B, or C. Next one coming up is Joe. I think she's going to be out of here at the end of April. She did indicate she would, you tell me if I'm wrong, she would stick around and train somebody if we get anybody that is selectable out of the village.
We are actively seeking interested parties, so if anybody out there thinks it's a job that they'd like to, please come in and apply. We are in low we haven't gotten any, so
You must live in the village.
you must live in the village. You would be appointed to a term. You would have to run for that position in November.
In November.
But it's a very flexible job, but it would be very helpful to have some accounting background, obviously.
Very
But
helpful.
we are seeking interested individuals. Please contact the office, send in your resume.
Mr. President, that's all I have for that.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there's another good one.
Anyone else? Now we'll move on. Do you have any comments, Joe, on the treasurer's report?
No.
Okay.
It'll come next time.
We'll get it next time. Okay, general business, consent agenda, what's the council's wishes, please? Of the minutes of February 28th, and a payment of bills, please.
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Old business, sewer plant, Mr. Clark, your department, please?
Okay, I'm still waiting for final quotes from the pumps for the wet well. Right now, it was suggested maybe we buy 2 motors, and they did give me a quote for that, around $28,000. We're still kind of trying to clarify the installation price. I'll have that for you at the next meeting. And I'm also waiting for a quote for repair of the electric lines to the sludge tank mixers. So, that's all I've got right now, thank you.
Very good, thanks. Next, we'll go to the public hearing.
No, we got,
No,
oh, no, you're right.
Hold on. New business, public hearing on the special assessment for police protection costs and expenses. It normally is done at our 7 o'clock session, so we always do it after the 7 o'clock. So we will open the hearing up now. Council, need a motion?
I also move that we go into the public hearing.
Read the motion, please.
Okay. To consider the adoption,
Yeah, to enter into public hearing to consider
Right,
that.
right, that's it.
enter into public hearing to consider the adoption of a resolution confirming annual special assessment role for the Armada Village Police and Special Assessment District.
At,
Support.
no, what
Now,
time?
you got what time?
At 7:29.
Okay, and you supported it,
Yes.
Moved and supported?
and it's a roll call.
Yes, it is a roll call.
Conan?
Yes.
Whoops. Belkey?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes?
Sleds?
Yes.
Wolak?
Yes. Motion carried. So the public hearing is open. Anyone in the audience like to address the topic? Yes, sir. Name for the record. Have 3 minutes, please.
Thank you. I won't take anywhere nearly as long. Kevin Brand, I'm a resident. The question I had, I was going through the packet for tonight, and I understand this has been a millage that's been going on since 2017. The only thing I haven't seen in the packet is what was the rate before and what will the rate be next year? That's the only question I have for tonight's meeting. Thank you.
Joe, you want to answer that one?
Yep, we started out with 5 mils, back when we opened the PA 33 assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And every year we bring it to the public and inform them that we will reduce the rate by 0.25 mil every year.
So what's it gonna be now, Joe?
2.00,
2.00?
so it'll be less than it was last year.
Okay, that was my only question. Thank you.
Very good, you're welcome. Anyone else?
I'll move that we go out of the public hearing
At,
at 7:30.
Support that. Go ahead.
who got it?
Steve.
Ballard.
For what?
What? Okay, no roll.
No, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. The MML
No,
property.
no, you gotta
No, there's a
adopt a
motion there.
resolution.
There's a resolution there.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to adopt a resolution confirming the special assessment role for the purpose of defraying police protection costs in the Armada Village Police Special Assessment District and directing further proceedings for the collection and distribution of the special assessment levy on the taxable value of all lands and premises in the district.
Support.
Moved and supported, any further discussion?
You should name this special assessment PA 33.
It's in there.
Is it? Okay, I don't have that part of
They
it.
referencing the district.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they gave me from the state.
Right.
I need to do that.
Yes, do roll, please.
Ballard?
Yes.
Sleds?
Yes.
Wolak?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next is the MML property pool liability insurance renewal. Need to address it,
Yeah, that's me, hang on.
Cal?
This happens every year. And,
It's actually gone down this year.
yeah, it went down by a little bit.
$94.
Wow, I don't have that in my
$100.
packet. How am I missing that?
Take a look at it.
Yes, please. Yeah, we received our, renewal from Meadowbrook for property pool and liability. It's a decrease of $94, and, the cost this year is $43,741.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to approve the MML liability and property pool renewal for the 2022-2023 term for a cost not to exceed $43,741.
Support.
Lights fled. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Oh, wait, yeah, spending money, I'm sorry.
Ballard?
Yes.
Sleds?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Wolak?
Yes, motion,
Conan?
Yeah.
motion carried. All right,
Thank you.
now we're
Oh, sorry.
going
I'll
to,
find you mine, or I'll print
No,
one
no,
off.
you're good.
So, move to go into executive session.
we're gonna have an executive session, and we're gonna have to ask the audience to step out. I'm sorry that we don't have another building right close by to step into for the warmth.
We'll yell out the
Got
door
some
when
cars.
we go back into session.
Yeah.
And they'll have to step out of the office. Andrew, please,
I'm sorry?
you'll have to step out of the office over there too.
I was assuming that was gonna be
We
a
got
safe
it.
haven, but.
Motion
But I
to
guess
go
since
into
the top,
executive.
Yeah, I'll move that we go into executive session
At what time?
at 7:36.
34.
34.
Or 4, 6.
Yep.
Support.
Moved and supported.
I
All
would
right, the
wait.
camera will go off during executive session. There'll be no motions made during executive session. The camera will reside again when you come out of executive session. For
Yes.
public
Do we
information.
need to do a
roll
vote?
call. We gotta do a roll call.
Is it roll call, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Conan,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes,
Clark.
yes, motion carried.
Go out of
Executive
executive session at 8:50.
8:50, 7:56.
Well, I said that thing right. 7:56.
I gotta change mine too.
Belkey?
Who's
Okay.
in charge of that clock?
I don't
think
need a
it's
roll
the
for this.
I
so-
changed it,
I
it's
think it's
okay.
the
Just
secretary.
roll.
No, we don't, just
No.
at
You
call
can
for.
reach it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we call the people
Yeah.
back?
Yes.
Yep, call them right there.
They're out there in their cars shivering.
No, those guys are
No,
standing
no.
outside. She's in there. They're standing right here.
But it was pleasing, gentlemen.
I would just, I would just call for the motion.
So,
They were back in.
Just a second, please.
Yeah.
do we need another motion?
No,
No. Just let me get my copy here.
I say, does Michelle need a copy of that?
I've got it.
Or you're gonna just give it to her?
Okay.
he can't run very fast right now, I can catch him.
She's picking on you there.
I know it.
I've been picking on him all day.
When we do vote, have a roll.
Yes,
Oh,
That's a good one.
all right. We will now go to Article C of the new business. And this is a new police chief recommendation by the police committee we had. And that consisted of myself, President Pro Tem, and Police Commissioner. So we had 4 candidates, 2 of our inside,
3.
3, pardon me, 3 regulars, and then 1 outside that was interviewed as such. So, Mr. Ballard, do you have any comments, please?
Yes, we had 4 excellent candidates that were here, and this was not an easy task, but we did come out with the 3 of us agreeing, and we talked it over in executive session, and therefore, I would like to resolve to appoint Richard Meyerly as the Armada Police Chief and authorize the village president and clerk to sign the employment agreement on behalf of the village.
I will second that motion.
It has been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Ballard,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Wolock,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Motion carried. Want to come forward there, Riley?
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Sled,
Thank you, Steve.
Mark,
Ross,
Belkey,
thank you. Michelle.
Michelle,
Mark,
Mr.
always a
Wolock.
pleasure.
Jim Paharski.
Did you know, Jeff?
Yeah, we talked about that. Oh, yes. And, well, thank you. Well, I could say thank you very much for your support. I will always do my best. Every job I've ever had since I started when I was working 12 years old, you will get your money's worth from me. So I hope you know, that's my motto. So you will get your money's worth from me, and I will always do a professional job. I've got 42 years of police experience, and I've always done a professional job, and I will continue to do so in the village of Armada.
We got a couple of great guys that just walked in that office to work
Yeah.
with too.
Yes, absolutely. No, we have a very fine team of individuals here. Okay.
This is in paper lady, she'd like to take your picture.
Okay.
I'll take a couple.
I'll be in it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You want me to spell my name, because most people have it
I
wrong?
was gonna say, you better have her write that down. I'm still struggling. Okay.
Richard, they will set you up on,
Let's move on.
Things I was on.
they'll set you up a physical down, Cassandra and stuff like that.
Right, no problem. And I'm gonna come in tomorrow, about 8 o'clock with, Mike.
Good.
Okay,
Real good.
thank you very much.
You bet.
Yeah, thanks.
Good night.
All right. Next item. We do have other stuff on the agenda.
Michelle, set him up on.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's here at 8, he'll have to wait for me.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, we put that executive session in a little early, so,
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
we're gonna go to the planning commission, zoning board of appeals and cable commission appointments. This has somewhat been forgotten about back in, I believe, November,
No, December.
December.
I apologize for that, but as you all know, my mother was dying in December. I'm still not there, but I caught it the other week, or the other day, so we are bringing it to you now.
So what is council's wishes?
Mr. President, I'll resolve to comply with the President's recommendation to appoint Dennis Lemieux to the Zoning Board of Appeals to a term ending December 31, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act.
Support.
Is Dennis already on the?
Moved and supported, any further discussion?
Dennis is already there, and
He's
he
being
is the
Reappoint, yeah.
ZBA president.
Oh, is he?
Okay,
That was
yeah.
not DEA.
ZBA.
ZBA.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, motion carried. Next.
Somebody else.
Wow, you're on a roll.
Okay. Mr. President, I'll resolve to comply with the President's recommendation to appoint Christy Patterson to the Zoning Board of Appeals to a term ending December 31, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act.
Support.
I gave it to Falcon.
Moved and
did you?
supported, further discussion.
Christie's still on planning,
She is,
and you can do both?
She's the liaison
planning,
for planning.
liaison,
ZBA.
ZBA.
All in favor?
Actually, that's.
Aye.
Aye.
Next.
I move to comply with the President's recommendation to appoint Kevin Grand to the Planning Commission to a term ending December 31st, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act.
Support.
Moved and supported, any further discussion?
Got it?
Yeah.
And Kevin's also being reappointed, right?
Yes, all of these are reappointments.
They're all real,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Michelle's
motion
gonna
carried.
ask the question again.
Welcome again, Kevin.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to comply with the President's recommendation to appoint Sarah Rumble to the Planning Commission to a term ending December 31, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications as set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported, any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Christie Patterson.
Go ahead, Dave.
I move to comply with the President's recommendation to appoint Christy Patterson to the Cable Commission to a term ending December 31st, 2024, subject to the appointee meeting the qualifications set forth in Chapter 2 of the General Law Village Act.
Support.
Moved and supported, any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I'm sorry, but I forgot the planning commission.
That's
Appointment
exactly
to take
right,
you
I'm
off.
looking forward.
I'm sorry, I thought I had that on the agenda.
Well,
Last page.
we can't do that.
Yeah,
It is the last one, okay, thank you, Kevin.
It's the last page.
Okay, I did have it on, I thought I did.
So last time.
Yeah, it's the last time, okay, all
Sorry,
right,
Dave.
keep moving. Yeah, sorry, Dave, you can't get on.
Sorry,
Next
Dave.
day.
Oh, we're putting Mike on tonight, too.
It is, it's at the end. That's a separate page.
Oh, okay.
The last
I
item.
see.
And by the way, I did talk to Mike, and he's accepting it very kindly.
Good.
All right. Now we got Ross's next item,
Right.
Ross's item.
Yep.
Thanks,
that's-
man.
Annual again. It's not annual, it's just a.
Yeah.
Well, it could be 2 years.
We
F&B
usually do
engineering.
it the 2 years that the president's on. They usually appoint somebody until
Yeah,
they're.
No,
This is
Oh,
this
okay,
is the
all right,
next
sorry.
topic. I had the same question about that too, because it should be a one-time charge, right?
I
It
think
is,
so.
it is a 1-year contract, well, let's go ahead and do it and then we can talk about it.
Is this the F&B?
Yes,
This is
definitely.
Mr. President, you want to tee it up or you just want? to-
Yes, no, go ahead.
Okay, so we have talked about this before, and about 2.5, 3 months ago, I did get a proposal from F&B, now I asked for it, but I did get a proposal from F&B Engineering to help us out with strategic planning and grant submission support for any infrastructure work that we do upcoming. There's an adjusted copy of that proposal in the packet. And just as an aside, Michelle, I don't even know that this needs a vote, because it's each individual commissioner is given $3,000, so it's within our spending. But I don't know, it doesn't matter, I'm happy to do it.
I didn't actually think even the total amount under, right? It's under
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
It's
It
under
is.
10, yeah.
But it's,
But that was,
It's a good idea.
I think it's.
but, I want Michelle to sign it for all three of us, so we don't have to do it, so we'll go ahead with it. But in any case, so as we mentioned a little bit earlier tonight, in 2020 and 2021, we did work on a capital improvement plan for infrastructure, but there are gaps in it. So in some cases, there are some significant gaps. What we want to do is be able to close those gaps. We need to have a very good idea of what's under the streets, what's on top of the streets, and what information we have and what information we don't have about the condition of the infrastructure. In some cases, we don't have all the information that we need. So F&V, who did that original capital improvement plan with us, come back and help us finish that. They are going to do principally two things. They are going to take the plan from where it was and work with the three of us, streets, sewer, water, to make sure that we understand what those gaps are, how they interact with each other, and probably encourage us to do certain things to determine fully what the infrastructure in the village, what its requirements are. The second thing is, as opportunities present themselves, they are going to recommend grants to us to apply for, right? It's up to us to apply for them. We can do them ourselves, we can ask F&V to help, but they will point us at those grants and indicate, and these are grants that we have a higher probability of getting, I guess, and a lesser problem. They're not gonna throw every grant out there at us. They're gonna say, here's some that particularly apply to you guys and what your infrastructure problems are. Example, there's grants out there to scope the sewer system. And if Steve decides he needs to scope certain components of the sewer system, they will help us apply for a grant. Of course, you can always take it out of Hyde, take it out of the current budget, but having somebody help pay for it's a lot better. So give Steve an opportunity. They do the same for water.
Supposedly, there's a lot of money available these days, but I don't know.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of infrastructure money out there. The trick is getting it out of the legislature and then meeting the grant requirements. So this will kind of help us
have a plan, so it's not like we're scrambling all of a sudden to do it. We
No, it makes
say, we've got
perfect
this
sense.
right now, here's what
Right.
we're doing.
You know,
I think we're all in agreement with
Yeah.
you.
I would just say,
Joe, did those stay in the budget,
in concert with this,
the threes?
Yes.
in concert with this, I will be working with these guys and the DPW to make sure we get all of their maps, all of their plans together so that we know what's under the streets, right? Or know what's on top of the street. I guess it kind
Yeah,
of
if we're gonna
way
have
to
to do
say
it, might as well, and then again, you said you wanna start with ours, now there's the pays or what, I apologize, I can't remember the exact name for the state program.
So that's with
Yes.
F&V though, right?
This is F&V
Engineering.
engineering, it's not F&V operations. It's the
Yeah.
same corporate headquarters.
But what about our engineers road?
Well, F&B has kind of been in on this, so we're not reinventing the wheel again. It's,
Yeah, this is their second time at it.
yeah, so.
I did ask Michelle a while back if F&V, or if Rowe was considered to be the engineer of record for the village, and to the
We
best-
don't have one.
We don't
No,
have
we don't
one,
have
so-
one, but we've been, but
We've used
for the last
them.
few years, we've been using road.
Right.
Well, for the last 17 years,
but
because you've been
not-
using
and
it
I'm
the
not
time I've been
knocking
here.
The majority
Well,
of those has
when
been.
Kathy was here, we were.
Right, I'm not knocking Rowe, but these guys have reached out to us, and they've already done some work
Tell
for
them to
us.
show us some grants.
Well,
That'll really go a long way in to keep that.
I do want to answer a question of Steve's, which he was pointing out that my write-up here says annual. I mean, if we want F&V back, if all of the work is not completed, if we need to do some additional work next year, obviously they're available. So, and I think if we've got things that are still missing or we don't quite have our plan together, we could approach somebody else, Roe, we could continue to go with these guys. I'm not advocating anything for next year right now.
And your
This is-
motion doesn't say anything about annual.
Right,
No.
this is
Would
just.
F&V get involved with roads?
Well, they're engineering.
They're engineering, just like road or somebody, okay.
If you
Yeah,
all,
right now, Dave,
Gotta find money.
We haven't used
When
the engineering.
we haven't used them, I've used Rowe
Yeah.
to get estimates, and, you know, it's been Doug, Skyless has been our source.
So, make a motion, unless there's any other questions, to accept F&V Engineering's proposal in the amount of $9,000 to provide strategic planning and grant submission support for village water, sewer, and street infrastructure repairs and upgrades, and to allow the clerk to accept the proposal on behalf of the village.
Support.
more than support, any further discussion? If not, money, roll call.
I'm sorry, Lyle, you supported
support,
that?
yes.
Okay. Belkey?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Sledds?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you, everybody.
You know what, as you all recall, prices went up really skyrocketing. And the thing is that we did have concerns. I mean, it's nothing out of school. The thing is that we felt as though Roe raised their prices tremendously. But I think it was an overall deal. You know, so it's not targeting, is what I'm sort of saying.
I hear you.
All right. Fire hydrant repair and replacement.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, I have also mentioned this previously at council. Jeff, this gets into some of those issues that I was talking about. We have We have 6 old hydrants, correct, let me take a step back. 7 old hydrants in the village that are either inoperative, and the fire department is aware of it, or they severely leak. And there are concerns by the DPW if they use some of these hydrants, it'll cause a condition known as water hammer and burst lines and so on. It's, while there's no fire and no use of the hydrants, everything is fine. It's not an emergency situation. But if your house is on fire and the fire department's got to use a leaky hydrant, potentially an emergency situation for a lot of reasons, right? We have taken a look at the cost of this as well as who would do the work. So in the case of the materials, the hydrants, the curb stop boxes and so on, the common stuff that we can easily buy and avoid paying taxes on. Dave Wagner, DPW superintendent's looked at several companies, but there's not many out there that make these. If they do, they just pass them through. There's only 1 or 2 companies that make these hydrants. So he has approached, see if I can find the name in here, Core and Main Company as a principal source of the material, the cost for these hydrants, and they are not available right now. So another reason to get this thing moving. The cost for these hydrants, if I can find my quote, $27,733.12 for 7 hydrants, but I bumped it up by 1 really because we need a spare. We have no spares in the village. So this will account for 8 hydrants, repair the 7 and the 1 replacement, and the curb stops and common materials. The next component of, so that's one motion.
10 to 12 weeks.
Let's do that one, then
Yeah,
we'll.
so you wanna do that now?
You get a 10 to 12 week lead time on us?
Russ, can I make one suggestion?
Yeah.
Rather than say to allow the DP, because then it doesn't appear, so I would say to approve the purchase. I mean,
Okay.
Dave's gonna do it, he can issue the PO, but I want it clear in the minutes that we're approving, not allowing him.
So to approve,
Makes
The
sense.
purchase of 8.
The purchase of,
Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 8 fire hydrants, D boxes as Dave calls them, and valves from Core and Main Company at a total cost of $27,733.12.
Support.
wow, who's that? Was it
Chris. Any further discussion?
Just, I think I heard Chris bring it up or somebody, it's gonna take 10 to 12 weeks to get these hydrants, right? So, again, this is a supply system we're dealing with, and every day we wait, this price goes up.
So I gotta vote on that motion and get it done.
Yeah, so.
Well, the interesting thing is the company will, they will honor the, us telling them that we wanna buy them, and we don't have to pay till next year, which is where the money is. Money,
Nice.
I was gonna ask that.
Next
was
fiscal
one of
year.
my 2 questions.
Okay.
That goes in.
All right,
You got that in there?
Okay, so ready?
yeah, go ahead.
Belkey?
yes.
Sleds?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes,
Conan?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
motion carried.
Process.
And
I don't
then
know
the
if
other,
it was
uh,
marked.
Set the quote
Um,
for telephone
Something says
contact.
out of service tax.
I don't know that Dave has done that or not.
I think this is the installation of
He's
it.
advised where
Yes.
they are.
Okay.
Ross, the insulation on Delta,
Yep,
you got a motion there.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that council understands, in this case, Dave did reach out to a couple other construction companies. Again, these are close guys that we generally use. He got no callbacks from 2 of them. Telto, which is one of these guys that routinely works for us, said, yeah, we'll do it. And they have indicated that they would do it, provide the labor and the miscellaneous materials that they will need, because each of these things is gonna be slightly different installation at a cost of $38,116.
38
No,
or
no,
30?
no.
30.
Okay, I might have typed that wrong.
No, that's,
No.
yeah, it's 38.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh,
So you gave it to me
because in
wrong?
Ross's notes it
Yeah.
says 30.
Okay, let's make sure everybody knows that he gave that to me wrong.
Wait a minute.
I didn't type it wrong.
I might have written up the motion.
What is the number?
The
38?
number is
$38,
$38,116. It's about $5,500 to come out and bust up the area and put this stuff in. The DPW will support the operation of each of these. The final thing I would say is, Telto's ready to go now. We don't have hydrants, so
But
as soon
yeah.
as we get hydrants, they will work to our schedule, which is an advantage of using these guys. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to accept the quote from, and Dave's got it, I don't have it unfortunately, quote from Telto Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $38,116 to install 7 fire hydrants.
Support.
The 8th one is at Sparrow.
Such like,
Okay, so-
moved and supported. Any further discussion?
When will our guys be able to start doing those, Ross?
Lyle, we're waiting for the hydrants to show up.
I mean, in the future, are we gonna continually use Telto, or are our guys gonna start doing that? See, before, our guys used to do it,
Yeah.
you know, and then all of a sudden, don't do it.
Dave, in discussing it with Dave, he feels much more comfortable, I don't know why.
I don't remember ever installing them, and getting any new ones.
Yeah, Ed used to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been onesies, twosies, I don't quite know the story there. Dave, I do know one answer to that, because Vic and Aaron are not experienced in it. Not that Dave couldn't train them.
I was gonna say,
I don't know how
you
much-
get experience
I don't know how
to
much
do
Dave
it.
knows about it, so, but it's a good question to ask, and I will find out from Dave.
Find out.
They are gonna assist in the job, and they're gonna learn in the process, so maybe they do all the future
We'll
ones.
approve this anyhow, and then if for some
Yeah.
reason they're gonna do it, we can
Yeah.
back off.
There's no budget problems in this, right?
Good
So
question to
next
ask.
year's budget.
Yeah.
Good, okay.
Ready?
Okay,
Good.
Belkey,
yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Baylor,
Yes.
Wolak.
Yes. Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Ross, you're spending a lot of money again.
Next, it's budgeted for, it's in the next year.
You always want me to remind you.
I know, it's, but I would tell you that, we are gonna get some stuff fixed here, the village would be the better.
You had to get them started again.
Yeah, okay.
Stop while
We're
I'm
on
at
the
it.
last item.
Okay, liaison requirement.
No.
No.
Appointment.
Appointment, yeah.
Dave, I wanted to drag this one out.
We'll do this
Gee,
one
who?
quick. You want me to make the
Who wants to make
motion?
that motion?
Quickly, Dave, quickly.
Go ahead, Dave.
I move to appoint Mike Shaw as a member ex officio to the Village of Armada Planning Commission for a term ending November 21st, 2022.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Mike knows about this, right?
Yeah.
I heard someone.
He will.
No,
They
I
did that to Dave once when he was gone.
Yeah, I was on vacation, that's how I got it the first time.
I talked to him last Thursday.
Okay, no,
And, yeah,
he knows what, I don't know, he's been on it before, so he knows what he's
he's
getting.
very willing, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good, so everything's okay?
No, no
Just,
roll on
No
this.
roll, okay.
No.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Up and coming agenda items, does council have any?
We have the budget public hearing at the next meeting.
We gotta accept Mike Patrick's retirement.
Yes.
And we're gonna have hopefully, we're gonna have a presentation that night on the retired chief's badge.
Okay.
And
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, good. Maybe we get that light fixed by then.
yeah, I hope so, man.
You'll make a note of that, Michelle?
Yep, I got it.
Just gonna have the LEDs.
Citizen
I was gonna
comments
say,
at
get
this
those
time.
LED, then we got no.
No one at this time? Council comments?
Upcoming, I gotta back up top, telling me agenda items, so we need to put the treasurer on there.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
I mean, are we gonna be in a position that we're gonna have to, what happens when,
A
That's
lot of communities are
going to appoint it. Now, we've tried to do
No, no,
that
no,
before.
no, what I said,
It's a
if
whole
we didn't
other
have
discussion,
someone
Dave.
by Joe's departure, a lot of communities are just bringing in someone to do the job
Interim.
until they, well, in our case, it might be the election, to be honest, who knows?
But we can bring somebody
You
in.
can, a lot of communities are, they just haven't.
But Jeff, do they have to be, I mean, I'd love to have somebody qualified in the village boundary, but what happens if we can't find somebody or nobody's willing?
I think, Joe, did you offer to stay,
Well,
Stay a little longer.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying, I mean, Joe would not, yeah, Joe
Yeah,
could
You
stay
can't
on.
force her to stay
But-
after November,
Yeah, you can't stay.
no, I mean, up till,
right?
Well, unless you point me to.
How about like 5 years?
No.
That's what I was going to, Dave.
Oh, we're at it, yeah.
All
yeah, okay.
right, so we have no citizens comment.
But hold on, did you say that's an upcoming agenda item?
I would,
No, it's
we
just
should
to
probably at least-
accept her resignation. We did not accept her resignation yet.
We're not gonna do
But really, I don't.
We
Ross,
weren't gonna accept
Ross.
Mike's either.
Do you?
You could be the treasurer.
We don't need to accept it yet.
Well, I
Should we-
think-
should we-
All kinds of money.
I
But we
think-
can still have her continue.
Absolutely,
yeah,
Should
my
we
tongue hanging
accept
out
it
as it is,
before
I can't
she's-
do all the stuff I gotta
Should we
do.
accept it at the next meeting, or
I-
should we wait until we have somebody?
Well, that's up to Joe, honestly,
That's
but
fine.
I don't mean to speak for
Okay,
her,
so
but
we're taking that off.
she's an elected official. Until she submits her resignation and it's accepted, we don't have that gun to the head of what are we gonna do?
Right.
But I think we owe it to Joe, obviously, to figure out what the next step is.
Work with her wishes.
Right.
But I guess you don't have to put that on there.
Okay.
I won't tell you what she told me today.
So.
It was a good laugh though, Joe. In fact, it was good, I appreciate it. So, okay, anything else,
Council comments?
Council comments?
council comments? That's where I was, and Dave took it back.
Events?
Community events? None?
Already did our closed session.
All right, so,
Closed
we don't have a closed session? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
The time is 8:27. Mr. President, I move to adjourn.
Support.
By Belkey,
Yep.
moved and supported, any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried, thank you.